Welcome to another exciting episode of On the Move, where we keep you informed and inspired. Today, we're going to be talking about words, how they're powerful. You know, it's said that words are powerful and they're life. And even as we go through this pandemic and it puts things into perspective for us, it gives us an opportunity just to think about the way we leave conversations with individuals, with loved ones. And what do we want that last thing to be? God forbid, if we wouldn't see them anymore. So we have an exciting guest that's coming on today that's going to get into his body of work and that's going to embellish this a little bit more for us so we can get into that conversation. And coming to us now is Sheldon Walker. He is a father, a poet, oh my goodness, a writer, author, a personal chef. He has to promise me a dish after this. And of course, a man of resilience. Come on down, Sheldon.
All right.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Welcome to the show, Sheldon. How are you?
I'm good. How you doing?
Good. Thank you so much. We're delighted to have you today. So just to open up, what we're going to do right now is just tell the viewers a little bit about yourself, who you are before we get into the body of work.
Well, I grew up in New York City, Brooklyn, Canarsie to be exact. Known for my writing ability, poetry. Started out with my musical talent, and then I ventured into writing, basically like short stories, and then challenged myself to write a book. So here I am.
Awesome.
That is so amazing. It is such a privilege to have you on the show. And I know that you are an author at this moment. You are actually doing a compiled work. And tell our viewers about your book and the title of your book.
The book is called Last Conversations. My Last Conversations. Basically like a memory in time, or a moment in time, or a way of life. Now, basically, the book is basically about last conversations we've had with people before they passed away. So basically, it's like not to dive into it too much or give away too much of the book, right? But it's basically like not learning to live or basically treat people how you would want to leave people with the thought of increase is basically what I'm trying to do. You know what I mean? Like with whether it's in a positive way, obviously I would like it to be in a positive way. So I'm trying to explain to people, like when we speak to people, when we get off the phone or when we come into some encounter, let someone have something good to say about you in a positive manner. So that's the way, that's basically what the book's about.
Amazing.
Awesome.
So I know you're compiling a book. Why was it important for you to get others to make it a compilation as opposed to like a Sheldon project, you know, a solo book? Why was it so important for you to go out, be the compiler, and to get multiple stories of similar last conversations, if you will?
My last conversation with my mother wasn't how I would like it or how I wanted it to be. Right. So I'm basically sharing how we all share the same pain. We all share the same guilt. We all have things in common at the end of the day. So me sharing my story and variety of other people's stories basically show us that we're all suffering the same thing. We're all going through the same pain at the end of the day. So it's a perfect example why I compiled other people's stories as well.
Awesome. And how about like maybe you would say like, maybe for somebody it's a mother, but I guess in compiling other stories, people can see themselves through John or Mary or whoever else is in that book.
It just doesn't have to be a mother. It could be a friend. It could be a loved one, a friend, a cousin. It doesn't really have my situation is my mother. But at the end of the day, for everyone else, it's a different scenario. So, but at the end of the whole thing is basically like it all comes together for one person. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Sometimes too, what I was thinking, like when I knew that we were going to have you on the show, sometimes it's not even like a bad last words, but even just to make use of the time. I remember I went to Jamaica some few years ago and my stepbrother. So, you know, you're on vacation, you're doing what you need to do. And I was like, okay, I didn't get time. I was there for 8 days. I'm like, I'll see you when I come back. Right. My mom, my stepdad was supposed to get married at the time. I'm like, I'll see you when I come back. And he crashed and he died and I didn't get to see him. So that just brought that bad memory to me, not just only say good things, right? So, you know, we're not in regret, but also make opportunity of that time too, because we never know.
Exactly.
I mean, it wasn't nothing bad that I said. We said, "Oh, I love yous" or whatever, but I hadn't seen him for so much years, and I was right there. I could have gone. It would have taken like, I don't know, half hour or whatever, but I didn't make the time.
You know what? I realized that we all have, God gives us an opportunity. Every morning we wake up, it's an opportunity to be a blessing to somebody else. You know what I mean? Not just to, I know we all have to live, we all have to make a living, but we need time to, don't neglect the needs of humanity, our love for each other. God didn't put us on this earth to buy a house, buy cars, to chase vanity, to chase these materialistic things. I think we're here on this earth to love one another, to basically spread love, you know what I mean? To have a purpose at the end of the day. But we're so caught up in this pandemic, and we're so caught up in other things, materialistic things, that we forget that we need to cherish one another and spend more time with one another. So picture this, like this whole pandemic, some people haven't seen their family in a year or 2 years because of the quarantine situation. So God forbid something happens in that situation, they're going to just remember their last conversation they had with that person. So my goal here is to spread positivity throughout the book and encourage people to don't neglect the vanity that they have. You know what I mean? Try to be a positive influence to someone while you can. Pick up the phone, tell someone you love them, send that text in a positive way, write the letter. You know what I mean? So that's basically what the whole book is about.
Absolutely. I love that. And I love the fact that, you see that this is in this time and in this season, this is what we need. And I was going to ask you in regards to the book, because I know I love a good read, right? So to know that you want people to get that positive message, you want them to ponder the thought that, think cautiously about what you're saying to people and value them. We are in conversation with Sheldon Walker, and I know we have with us also Lisa Smart. We're going to get her in on the conversation to join us, but we're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be back right after this.
Hello and welcome back to On the Move. Thank you so much for staying with us. We have been in conversation with Sheldon Walker, and now we're going to bring into the conversation Lisa Smart. She's a linguist, a poet, an educator, and founded the Final Words Project. So we're going to get her to chime in on the conversation right now. Welcome to the show, Lisa.
Welcome.
Hello, thank you. It's great to be here.
It's so glad to have you here. And I know that you founded the Final Words Project. Can you just tell our viewers a bit about that and what that actually entails very briefly?
Yeah, and I also, just so people know, I wrote a book called Words Threshold that is based on the findings of the Final Words Project. So if I say anything today and people think, oh, I want to know more about that, they can go to the website or check out the book. And what the Final Words Project is based on my curiosity about what people say as they're dying. And that came up because my father, who was a complete skeptic, he was a scientist, didn't believe in anything beyond this world at all. As he was dying, I went to visit him every day after work. And he started talking about things that were very unique and unusual for him, like angels in the room. And he started predicting his own death. He told me one day, the angels tell me 3 more days, only 3 more days. And indeed, 3 days later, my dad passed. And this is from a man who didn't even believe in angels, right? So I became really curious because I'm a trained linguist. I went to school at Berkeley, where they have a great linguistics department. And so while my dad was dying, I just started writing down everything he said. And then after he passed, I was just curious, are other people seeing angels as they're dying, or what's going on with people as they die? And I feel so honored having received a phone call, an email from Sheldon, because the power of words is, I wrote this book, and Sheldon, who I don't know until now, and I'm honored to have met him and be a part of his work now. The power of words and the printed word is we can connect with people around the world, and we can take the most intimate moments of our lives. Like I took this intimate moment with my father, and then I did research, and now I've collected 2,000 examples of final words based on this project. It's been 7 years. But my writing this book, here is this gentleman, Sheldon, another writer, another part of the country, who had an experience with his mother on the other side of it. I'm talking about what the dying said. And he had this powerful experience about what he said to his mother and the regrets he has about it. And you'll be able to read his story in his book when it comes out. But, what we say, what we hear from the dying to the living, and what the living say to the dying, those are the most important words maybe that are ever spoken. And I feel so blessed and so grateful that Sheldon has connected with me, because now he and I together are going to look at both sides of final words, the ones that the living say to the dying and the ones that the dying say to the living. Very excited, very excited about being a part of this.
Amazing.
That is so good.
Sheldon, what has it been like,
Yeah.
I guess, working with Lisa? Would you say it kind of just gave you some comfort or some solace, just kind of knowing that other people have similar stories, even though yours is unique, or just kind of, this compilation then? A compilation in and of itself, right? Because you're working with her. What has that been like?
So far, so good. I can honestly say we're getting a lot done. For me, it's a lot of interviews, a lot of legwork. I'm right now working on a book proposal that I'll be sending to Lisa shortly, and then we're gonna go from there. So yeah,
Beautiful.
That is awesome. And so I know you're doing a lot of interviews and connecting with people. So do you want to let our viewers know, in case if there's somebody out there that has a story that may want to get a hold of you, how would they go about that?
you can reach me on Facebook, Sheldon 3, the number 3 Walker. So Sheldon 3 Walker. You can reach me there, or you can email me if you like at sheldonwalker37@gmail.com.
Absolutely. That is so amazing. And I know, Lisa, you had said how they can get in touch with you. So do you want to tell our viewers where they can get a copies of your book? Because I know you've written more than one. You have like a few books that's out there. So where can they get a hold of you?
Well, they can go to finalwordsproject.org, and I have lots of free information and a free chapter. And then, of course, they can go to Amazon and look for my name there and to get my other books there. But the website's a great place to start. I try to put a lot there so people can have access to free information as well.
All right. So to find the book, it's Lisa Smart with 2 T's, SMARTT, and you can get a hold of that information and rather find the book on Amazon, so you can be enlightened and fulfilled.
All right. So any final words before we wrap up this segment, since we're on the topic? Lisa, any final words you want to share with our viewers before we go?
Well, really briefly, and then it relates to what Sheldon was saying. What I have found through all the research of what people say when they die, what we find are words of love. Before people go, I don't. So many people it's a time to ask for forgiveness, or people who maybe didn't speak but come out of a coma and speak. It's always seeking love and seeking forgiveness. And as Sheldon is going to be writing about in his book, we don't have to wait till we die to live with love and forgiveness. And that's why I'm excited about the book that Sheldon's writing, because he's going to suggest that maybe we all just should be living with love and forgiveness today, instead of having to wait till we're dying to do that.
Right.
Absolutely. Sheldon?
I agree. And to add on to what Lisa was saying, like I said, to reiterate myself, we all have an opportunity. So I'm encouraging everyone to take the opportunity you have now to love one another, and don't be arrogant to always feel like we have tomorrow. So God bless.
Right. So we have words of wisdom that we should always live with love and forgiveness in our heart, not just when the time is there, the situation is there, because it might be too late. But if you make that a way of life, if you make that a way of practice, then at least if God forbid somebody does pass on, then we won't live in regret if we just show love, just like Christ shows it.
Absolutely. All right. Lisa, thank you so much for being with us today and sharing your story and your book. And we look forward to having you back on again when everything is completed and we can do another segment with you. So thank you so much for being with us today. And Sheldon, we thank you for.
So much. It's been a pleasure speaking with you. And we look forward to see how this unfolds. We'll keep an eye on the journey. We wish you all the best in this. It's such an inspiring project. So we're wishing you all the best. And we hope that it goes lengths and bounds, just places that will even blow your mind. And to follow up on that journey. So we hope to have you back, when it's all unfolded.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, guys.
Okay, so we'll be back with our Inspirational Corner.
Stay with us.
This is On the Move.
Welcome to our Inspirational Corner. You know, the Bible talks about not going to bed with being angry. And there's a reason why God actually told us to be mindful of our interaction, because you never know if you're going to wake up to see the next day. It's by God's grace each day that we wake up to see a new morning. So it's very important that we cherish the moment that we have with each other, be very mindful of the words that we say to each other, because you never know when that would be your last conversation or your final word. In this episode, as we talked about, you know, the meaningful times that we share with our loved ones and the different interactions that we have, we're just really encouraging each other to just take thought and take a moment with your loved one. And always, when you're leaving a conversation, make sure that if you're angry or whatever, turn back and, you know, ask for forgiveness. And make sure that your final word, your last conversation with anyone is always on a positive note. Thank you.
Absolutely. Those are sound words. Ensure that we live in love, like our guest talked about, and forgiveness. Make it a way of life so that we don't have to live in regret.
Exactly.
Thank you so much for joining us today. We want to take this time out to thank our awesome stylist team, LMD Styles by Judith Allen and Styles by Taya. And thank you for joining us. We want to encourage you at this time to take the time to share the link, subscribe, and to comment. We love to hear from you. And of course, we have some exciting news today. We're going to be giving away some goodies. So if you've been watching, you're going to be rewarded. So I'm going to throw it over to Andrea, who's going to tell us how you can get those.
Absolutely. So, so be the first to comment below or send us a message. And when you send us that message, we're going to put your name in a draw, and we will definitely be picking a winner next week. And we will announce that person. You'll be getting a goodie bag from Styled by You and Taya Style. So please make sure you charm in on this gift, right?
Amazing. So you don't want to miss that, and share it with your friends so they can also have an opportunity. And don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And join us again next week, same time, right here on GFTV, 7 p.m. each and every Friday for On the Move. Until next week, take care.
Take care.